Welcome to Dollars, Lifestyle, and Charity, a finance podcast for gamers. Romans and I are both money guys, but we're also gamers, so we wanted to put this pod together to help gamers like us with some of their tough money topics that can sometimes feel as hard as a Souls boss.
We're talking budgeting, saving, paying off debt, and how to not fall for all the traps life throws at you.
Grab a health potion and let's start stacking gold IRL. This is DLC, a finance podcast for gamers. Welcome to Dollars, Lifestyle, and Charity, a finance podcast for gamers. I'm Scruffy, and this is Romans. We're your hosts today. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the launch of the Switch 2. I actually was able to get my hands on one launch day. Pre-ordered it from Nintendo because I spend so many hours on my Nintendo Switch 1 that they were like, here, you can actually pre-order it, and I didn't have to fight everyone online to get one from like Target or GameStop. So it's great. But yeah, that's what we're going to be talking a little bit about today. Romans, what have you been up to since our last episode?
Yeah, I checked out my new mountain cabin that me and my family acquired this year so we could do vacation in the cool mountain versus melting in the mouth of a dragon here in Orlando. My wife didn't see it. I bought it without her physically seeing it, and thank God she likes it.
Ooh,
So,
that is bold.
yeah. Well, she saw photos, but there's nothing like actually seeing it in person.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did a little, made it our own, if you will. It's on Airbnb. If people want to rent it, let me know. Put the comment section below. Give you the link. This whole podcast is just to rent out my Airbnb. That's really the real purpose behind it all. But yeah, it's great. We love it, and it's up there in the mountains in the Blue Ridge. So that's me. How about you, Scruffy? What you been up to?
Work's actually been really busy for me, so I'm still kind of on pause on Claire Obscure. I've been wanting to get back into that. I'm close to the end of Act 1 now, but all of my friends are now finishing it, and I've been busy with work, so I haven't actually been able to do that much. But work's been going really well. Which is very helpful, because I bought a house recently, so that has been pretty good. But yeah, gaming wise, it's been a little bit on the back burner. Um, but still working my way up the ranks in Marvel Rivals too. For those of you who play, I'm in the low gold hell right now, uh, where I'm just getting queued with absolute noobs who don't know how to play the game and are somehow in gold, and it's terrible.
You transitioned into PC, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, we,
Yeah, I
we
went
should
from,
we can play together. I forget that. We can grind that together.
yeah, we can. Yeah, going from what was I? I think it was like peak Diamond 2 on console to Bronze 3 on PC again was rough. It was really rough. So I'm hoping to get this season, getting into Platinum at least this season, but we'll see if that happens or not. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been up to.
Cool.
Uh,
So what are
but
we
yeah,
talking about today?
so we are going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2, which I was actually able to
Ooh.
get my hands on. And I know this is probably going to be the thing that is dominating a lot of like gamer talks recently, just because there's been a lot of controversy following this console release, and I figured it might be a good topic for us to talk about if it makes sense to actually buy it, spend the money, because going from a $300 console with the original Switch all the way up to $450 or $500 if you're buying the Mario Kart bundle, which definitely makes sense with how expensive the games for the Switch have gotten with this latest release. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, we'll kind of get all into that. So, Romans, what have you kind of seen so far with the Switch launch? I know before we were talking, you said you mentioned you watched a brief demo, but haven't really seen much. Yeah, what are kind of your thoughts?
Yeah, I can't wait to see what it can do that's different because I like my Switch. It's actually my travel companion. Like I take it with me,
Hmm.
and I like the fact that it doesn't need internet, and I think that's a little bit of the drama. So I'm very curious to see what reality is. Uh, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna spend the podcast today not defending Nintendo, and you can be
Okay.
the guy defending Nintendo. And
Since
so,
I was the one who actually bought it.
yeah, yeah. I love my Switch One, and I know everyone likes the shiny things, so maybe you should get it. But I'm not convinced to get it. Every game I enjoy is on there, and I'm behind. My game backlog is probably 200 deep. So I don't need the new because I still have literally 200 games I need to get through, of which 50 are on the Switch. I haven't bought all 50, but I definitely have bought probably 20. But so which is a more of the why would I buy two? And I'm curious, can I even play them on a two? Which I guess you can. When you
You
talk
can.
about that, you can. Okay,
Yeah.
answers out. You
Yeah.
can. You can. Okay. Yeah, I saw the demo. I saw it transformed. That they, these guys, these game manufacturers, they always have such great demos, and I love how it transforms from one to two, and how all the controller like moved and got all updated and smarter. Uh, but you know what? Switch One is fantastic. What a great first showing, and I'm a little cheap. I can't wait till we start talking about pricing. I'll let you lead that front, but the
Yeah.
pricing is probably another. Uh, do I really need a Switch 2? My Switch 1 is great. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there's definitely some things about the Switch that I really like. Chief of all, like you said, you use this primarily for travel. One of my favorite new things about the Switch that I don't know about you, but my kickstand broke almost instantaneously on my Switch One.
Ooh.
This one can go all the way back, so you can have it like laying down in front of you like this. You can adjust it, and it's like a metal, actually a metal kickstand, so it fits really, really well. The new way that the Joy-Cons connect is super great. It literally just clicks right in magnetically, and then there's a little trigger on the back to undo it. And then I don't know for you, for me, the old Joy-Cons were felt really, really small in my hands, and I never wanted to play with the Joy-Cons. I always wanted to play with a Pro controller or something like this. They actually fit very well in my hands, and probably the biggest improvement on the Joy-Cons is, if you can see here, the SL and SR buttons are significantly bigger. So
Mm.
you don't have to have one of those extra sleeves to actually be able to use it. In fact, the new sleeves don't actually cover the surface of the Switch, like that this surface at all, because of the new mouse control option that they released too. So I'm not sure if you have heard this yet. One of the bigger things, especially for FPS games, is you can now use your Switch as a mouse and actually play a game like you and aim with a mouse. I know for the new Metroid game, they were really selling that, but also for like games like Fortnite. If you're playing Fortnite on your Switch, you can now actually aim with a mouse rather than with a Joy-Con, which is going to change FPS gaming on the Switch a lot.
Mm.
I'm going to be interested to see because they're not going to be able to be queued with PC because they don't have the processing power, but they'll have significantly better aiming ability than with like a PS5 or an Xbox now.
Wow. Wow. So is the Joy-Con a mouse? Is that what you're saying?
So essentially, if you look at the Joy-Con, there's a little like camera right here so that you can put it down on the flat surface like this, or even on your thigh too. You can use it and it works as a mouse. It's a controller and a mouse as well.
Very weird. Okay, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me know how that goes before I. Uh, you have me at the innovation. You have my interest. Does it actually crush it?
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
play many FPS games on the Switch, so I'm not really sure how that's going to work out. Um, we'll see. My so far the only game I've played on the Switch is Mario Kart Worlds, which I got the bundle that came with Mario Kart Worlds because that was a launch game. And the main reason I did buy the Switch 2 is my favorite games for the Switch are have always been Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. I love playing those games IRL with my friends. I knew I was going to be buying those eventually, so I was like, I'll just buy it now because I know I want to have it at some point. Um, but it has actually been cool to see some of the innovations. I haven't used the game chat feature yet, but I have a friend who got one, and he said the game chat feature, especially because Nintendo is unwilling to input Discord into their product, it actually substitutes very, very well for Discord. I didn't buy the $60 camera that they tried to sell me because that
What?
was just ridiculous.
There's a $60 camera?
Yeah, so you can set up a camera and plug it into your Switch and like track your face a little bit so that you can play with friends and have like kind of a game chat. Um, so I didn't buy that, but like I've heard that that works pretty well, but the actual chatting feature while you're in game in a game like Mario Kart Worlds or even Smash Bros, something like that, um, makes it really, really easy.
I, yeah, if you could stream off of it, that'd be something, huh? If you could like stream on Twitch. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know if you can do that. I know they made it very easy to connect with a capture card, like just like you would with an original Switch. Um, but with that camera, I wonder if you could have that be an output for streaming or not, or that might actually take down some barriers for people who are wanting to stream Nintendo games if you're able to use the capture card to capture both the game and the visual output from the camera as well. I actually hadn't thought about that.
I wonder why are they so Discord hesitant? Is it trafficking, like protection of the gamer, or is it proprietary? They don't want to give Discord another win under their belt.
I think that's probably what it is. I mean, Nintendo historically has been very, very um, anti third party. Like what they want everything to go directly through them. So I know that's one of the reasons why they really don't want to have Discord on there. Um, so that's one of the reasons why this game chat feature is one of the big innovations of the Switch itself. Um, so we'll see. Maybe one day they actually do get to a place where they can, you know, integrate it, but I don't see that happening for a little while.
You know, one cool thing about my Switch One, it's pretty durable. I've dropped my Switch a million times, and it's in my luggage
Yeah.
when I travel, and you know that bag gets kicked and thrown around.
You don't
And
have it in a case?
no, so I don't believe in case. I don't believe in cases.
Okay.
My phone also goes uncased. I just
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I don't believe in cases. I like it's so pretty. You make a product that's pretty, and then we wrap it in something ugly. You know, there's some nice cases out there, but I also like my objects small, and
Hmm.
every good case is so, it's like wearing a bulletproof jacket.
Sure.
Uh, yeah, and we pay for
But you don't even
insurance. Well, I don't
you
pay.
don't even have like a carrying case for your Switch or something? You just like throw it in your bag?
Yeah, I wrap it in a shirt.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I literally just throw it in there, right? Like I treat it like a Game Boy. You didn't do that with a Game Boy, did you? Oh, I guess some people did.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I did have a case for my Game Boy, not for my DS, and I broke my screen because I didn't have a case for my DS.
Yeah, no, I don't even have a scratch on my screen. You know what? After this, it's in the kitchen. After this recording, I'll go check it out. I don't think it has a single scratch on it because yeah, we're good.
Hmm, impressive. And you don't have stick drift? That's really impressive.
I've had to replace one Joy-Con, but I don't think it was. I wasn't flying as much as I have been flying this past year. The stick drift did just happen, and that was annoying time because I don't
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out how to just buy one. At the store, I always had to buy two. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
just the right one. But thankfully, the left bumper broke on the left one. So I just told myself, well, both
Hmm.
are broken. I guess now's the time.
Interesting. That's one of the criticisms that I've seen from Nintendo on this Switch is they use the same part that breaks for the on the stick drift in the new Joy Cons. So, which brings into another point that I think we should discuss before we get into pricing, which is the end user agreement. Have you seen this yet? The controversy surrounding this?
Well, what I've heard is at any time, is this what you're talking about? At any time,
Yeah.
Nintendo can do a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you can speak more intelligently about it. I know that I'm mad because social media told me to be mad, So I'm mad. And I just can't
Yeah.
believe that they did a thing that I didn't read and I didn't know more about. Go ahead, tell me. Tell me if I should be
So
mad or not.
so before I get into that, I'll get into like what the issue is with stick drift. So in here, essentially in the gyroscope area for the stick, there's a plastic piece that connects it on either end, and that plastic piece, when it gets stressed, easily breaks. Now, rather than just buying a new Joy Cons, I actually got a replacement piece because there's some third-party manufacturers out there that turn that plastic piece into a magnet. So if there's a lot of stress, it just disconnects and reconnects. Doesn't permanently break your joystick. It just, temporarily will disconnect and then reconnect, and your joystick's fine. So Nintendo didn't replace that with that improved part. It's still the old part. But what people are mad about is Nintendo put in their user agreement that if you customize the Switch in any way, like not authorized by Nintendo, they will shut down your Switch, completely deactivate it because it's a license from Nintendo to use the Switch. You're technically, because when you purchase a Switch, you're technically purchasing the license to operate the Switch. And if you customize your actual Switch in any way, it can be deactivated by Nintendo. So, like putting in those parts or anything like that, if Nintendo detects that you're messing with the actual Switch, it can deactivate it. So I don't know how far that goes if it comes to like disassembling the Joy Cons or anything like that, because I haven't done that and I won't risk doing that on a console I just spent $450 on. But
Wow.
that is definitely the concern. Um,
Mm.
because there were definitely some parts out there that would improve the Switch One, that you could install yourself, with just a little bit of knowledge about like how to adjust some motherboard stuff. Um, so that is definitely something that I'm a little hesitant on and a little concerned about for the life of the Switch too.
Is this where we talk about how we're sponsored by Xbox new handheld device? Is that Did you see that? It was
I did. I briefly saw it. Yeah, it actually looks really good. That's something I wanted to talk a little bit about too in our next episode. So
Oh,
tune
okay.
into the next episode because we're going to be talking a little bit about that when we're talking about the new Xbox subscriptions and stuff like that. But yeah, the handheld device looks pretty solid. I was seeing some comparisons to the Steam Deck, and the Switch 2 also. And it looks like, so the way kind of I saw the graphics breakdown is that the Switch 1 is, not great. And then the Steam Deck's a little bit better than the Switch 1, and the Switch 2 is definitely better than the Steam Deck. And then the new Xbox handheld is supposedly significantly better than the Switch 2 is as well. So I'm definitely interested to see some more of the actual stuff that comes out with that. Because I don't really know for sure what it's gonna come out to, but I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah, I'll just say it now because maybe folks won't catch the next episode. But did you see the prices of the Xbox
No, I haven't
Ally?
yet.
Oh,
No,
I thought Nintendo was trying to give us a heart attack. This thing, I'm looking at $1,000.
no way.
I am
A grand?
$1,000 for the handheld Xbox, so they could definitely sponsor this podcast. If
Oh
they
my
just
gosh.
gave us each one, that's that is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
My goodness.
up to double. Yeah, they don't mind. They're potentially being twice the price. That's so wild because one of my pain points was the Switch 2 price,
Yeah.
and
And
the
you're paying double what you would pay for a standard console there
yeah,
for a handheld.
I am shocked. I am surprised. It's almost like they said, "Hey, console wars is over. Let's show them how it's hold my beer and let me show you how it's done on handheld."
Yeah.
I can't believe it's double. That's wild. But hey,
That,
if people buy it, um,
yeah. Well, they're making Nintendo look great when everyone was super mad about Nintendo charging 450 for a handheld console that can actually connect to your TV. So
I, this is
that's
wild.
interesting.
Maybe I'm clicking on the wrong thing, but it looks. It's the out. I thought it was called the ROG Republic of Games, but maybe
Yeah.
this isn't them because this is. Yeah, we should confirm, but everything I see says 650 to 1,000. Uh,
You might be looking at a different one
oh,
because
I am looking at the
there
wrong.
hasn't been any there hasn't been any pricing released yet. But what I'm seeing here is that it looks like it's going to be more closer to 500 to 700 in that range.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know it. I thought it came out already. I misunderstood. It looks like it's. I guess Asus has its own. That's $1,000 right now. If you want the one that's out right now, it's $1,000. It's just that it's also a Republic
Okay.
game, so I thought it was the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Well, there we go. More first handful of episode bloopers. Dropping a new price that's completely wrong.
Hey, if we were sponsored, we'd have the right price.
That's true. Xbox, get on it. Get
Yeah,
on it.
yeah. Get on the podcast that hasn't officially released yet. Where are you? More entitled influencers have been released into the public. We demand sponsorships with zero viewers. All right, let's do this thing.
I mean, I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, I might say no to buying it myself. No, never, just kidding. Just kidding. I'll buy it if you sponsor me. Yeah, so let's get into these questions, huh?
Hmm.
So obviously you bought one, so I feel like this
I
first
did.
question is a little bit. Maybe this question is more for me because we already know what you did. But the question is the Switch 2 worth it to purchase on day one or wait? And yeah, I'm gonna say that I'm very happy with my Switch 1. I see a lot of cool things. That mouse is cool. I'm sure there's other cool, the magnets and all the other features. That
Hmm.
kickstand is cool. But for my needs, I use it to fly on planes, and I love that the games don't need internet to work. Most games
Yeah.
on my phone require internet to work, and
Hmm.
sometimes my plane, not all air. Delta is great, sponsored by Delta. Just kidding, but Delta gives free Wi-Fi, and United gives free Wi-Fi. But because of where I live, because of where we both live in Florida, American Airlines is usually the best, most
Yeah.
affordable flight outside of the
Yeah.
cheap guys that are, you fly on a box of chickens. American Airlines doesn't give free internet, so I like my Switch. If I'm flying a couple hours, I'm gonna pay $20 every time I want internet. I don't think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I'm inherently cheap.
Yeah.
It's only 2 hours. Whoever it is can wait 2 hours. I'm gonna play on my Switch. So for my needs, I'm a pass. But I'm glad you have one. Did yours came from Nintendo, so yours didn't come with the free two holes. I heard other people got free holes in theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard there were a couple GameStop because the box that the Switch comes in is really thin, and when they were stapling the receipts to the front, it punctured the screen. Now the one I got from Nintendo just came, shipped here and it was completely fine and intact, worked right out of the box, which was great. Got to play some Mario Kart on it day one, which was a lot of fun. But so what I would say is it worth it? It depends. I bought it because I knew I wanted to play the new Mario Kart with my friends. That's the main reason I wanted to buy it. Is the innovation from the Switch 2 worth an immediate purchase? I'd probably say no. There's a couple really cool features with it that are, definitely cool. And, sometimes they can be more gimmicky, definitely, in my opinion, on some aspects, rather than just like a feature you're going to use every single time. It's a really cool console. I like it. I'm sure I'm going to like continuing to play it. But I don't think it's like a you need to buy it day one, especially for the people that are out there that are upset with the user agreement. I don't think Nintendo's going to change it, but maybe they do in a couple months with enough backlash, but I don't know. So I would say if you're considering it, maybe just wait and see how it shakes out. Because also one thing we didn't talk much about, there's not a ton of day one releases of like Nintendo games. There's really only Mario Kart. There's not a ton of day one releases. Like even the
Wow.
new Donkey Kong game that was supposed to be, the Mario Odyssey release isn't released yet. That's coming out later. So, because of that, like I would definitely say wait until some more actual Switch 2 exclusive games come out before you jump into the purchase. If it were me, that's if it were me and I wasn't buying it for the purpose of playing Mario Kart, that would have been what I had done.
I'll give Nintendo Switch this. I did get my Nintendo Switch pretty much when it came out, and I Googled it, of course. It came out in 2017.
Hmm.
So I have my unprotected Nintendo Switch thrown all over the planet, and it's been with me. Is that 8 years?
Yeah,
It's
eight
survived eight
years.
years of on the go. So if the Switch 2 can at least do that, I don't know if any of my gaming PCs have survived 8 years. Like they have, but
Yeah.
are they still relevant? Right? Like I have my
Hmm.
my old ones. I actually still have my daughter plays on my previous gaming PC, and my son who's younger plays on the one before that. They still
Hmm.
operate, but you have to play everything on the lowest setting for the most part for my son. And he
Yeah.
doesn't know what good is, right? He doesn't play on my setup where I could literally when I'm talking to you on, I could launch a space shuttle. Like this thing is amazing, right? I have two curved monitors stacked on top of each other, and then a
Hmm.
crazy PC that's water cooled and all the fancy things. It's got more RGB than an airport with all its lights. But I gotta tell you, my Switch One has survived 8 years.
That's impressive.
And I've
Yeah.
only replaced the controllers once. Each the left and the right have both been replaced once, and that's it. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I'm not a heavy user, right? I don't play it every day. It's really just my travel companion, especially when I go overseas. It's there's internet internationally is just all over the place. Whether it's how affordable it is, if you can have it. Yeah, so I think Switch is a great product. Yeah, you're just gonna need to calm down on these prices.
Yeah.
What's that other question you want to throw out there that we're gonna definitely
Yeah.
disagree on?
Yeah, speaking of the prices, the digital and physical games are now priced differently. Used to be the same. You bought a key, you bought the physical game, it was the same price. Now Nintendo's charging an additional $10 to have a physical cartridge um, for the Switch instead of having a digital. Um, I definitely have my opinions. I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Um, Obviously, as the finance in me, I want to say buy whatever's cheap, but yeah,
Well,
what do you think?
what I want to do now that you said that is I feel like shorting GameStop stock. I think I want to short it so hard because you
That
just
worked
told
out so great for everybody in 2017 that was shorting GameStop.
this just told me that GameStop has another axe in its back, and it, yeah, uh, I don't even know how to answer that question. This is terrible. You're gonna
Yeah,
charge me $10 more, like, but it's not just $10 more. It's a difference from going from 5 to 15. No, we're going from 80 to 90, like $80 for a digital Switch game, which I gotta tell you, as a longtime Switch owner, not all games are equal. And there are
this is true.
some games they want you to pay 50 and 60, and that's a $20 game. But because it's on a
Hmm.
Switch, they're telling you it's 50, and values in the eye of the beholder. Some folks, Co Carnage, a popular streamer, would say every minute is $1 to him. So if he plays a game for an hour, it's worth $60. And I think that I love Co Carnage as a creator, but I think that's what he says, and I can't disagree more than that.
Yeah,
I think you can buy a book in a library, and read it, and read it again and again, and it can take you a long time to read a book unless you're a really fast reader, and you'll pay 15, 25, maybe 35 for a good book. I don't understand this whole dollar per hour comparison. I think that when it comes to like you buy a board game, if you buy any board game, Monopoly. How many families have been destroyed by Monopoly? But how many hours have been poured into Monopoly? Right, like
It's
it's
true.
hundreds and hundreds of hours for a $15 family destroying game. So here comes these Switch games, and I, I'm 44, so maybe it's the boomer in me, but I'm gonna have a real hard time paying $80 for a digital game without seeing some streamers play it or someone tell me I'm gonna pour hundreds of hours into it.
Yeah.
I need more than $1 per hour for a video game to find joy, or to find that it was worth it, unless the game absolutely is pretty much a movie. Some games, I remember there's a Metal Gear game, can't remember which one it was, but it was around 25 hours to beat it. But literally, it was one of the first times I played a game that literally I thought I got to be in a movie, right? Obviously, I'm not in it, but I
Yeah.
am controlling how this movie is going to play out. It was gripping, brought you to tears, it brought you went through the whole emotional spectrum. And that game, I think I only put 25 hours in. So if you're gonna have that much thought, like the Obscura Expedition 33 game that you have yet to finish, games
Yeah.
like there's this weird thing where games like that probably should be $200, right? No one was gonna pay that, but the Journey Expedition 33 will the actual journey of love and loss and every pain, romance, victory. Those games charge too little, and then there's these games that like $80 to be a frog jumping across a river because it's been remastered and now the logs look like they look like you could get a splinter touching them. That game's
Yeah.
Frogger, bro. That game, I don't care what you do to that game. I'm not paying more than $5. I don't care if you use real wood to make those digital logs. And I feel like this mandate that it must be 80. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna go get a job to buy video games, to afford video games.
Yeah.
What?
It's
Go for
good.
it. No, no, go for it.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's definitely a pretty big jump, and I think this is probably the biggest hurdle for most people buying the Switch is just the price of the games. Because you look at like there's so many ways to get discounted games if you're playing on like PC or something like that. And then Nintendo is notorious for their amazing sales of 5% off, you know? So I really don't think um I think they're going to need to actually be more realistic with their pricing in order to actually have success with these games. I know the new Donkey Kong game that they're releasing, which is supposed to be the Mario Odyssey of the Switch 2. That one I think is $10 less, but you're still looking at $70 for a game. And for a studio that has put out one really great game, I'm not sure if I want to take a risk on a $70 game that might be fun. I'm probably going to wait and actually see, like you were saying, watch some streamers play it, look at the gameplay, and see if I'd actually enjoy it. Because nothing hurts me more than buying a game, spending a couple hours in it, and just realizing, oh, I just wasted $70 because I hate this game. Um,
This is a great
and
transition. Have you heard of Reach Conference, where there's content creators playing all kinds of games, where you could find out before you spend $80, you could watch a Reach Conference streamer play that very game. I just can't tell you enough. I'd go to reachconf.org and I'd go to that conference in Orlando in November 6, 7, and 8.
what
Because
a transition!
I don't know if I could pay $80 for a game that I don't know if it's good or not. I'd rather get to know some great content creators and let them play it, and through their eyes help me decide if I should jump and take that pill. Because that is some bonkers stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you all can come to Reach Conference. It is so much fun. I had such a great time last year. This year it's going to be even better, or it's going to be probably 2 to 3 times as many people there.
Mm-hmm.
Or already over 100 people that are coming. So um, we have so many streamers coming, a lot of really awesome people to meet, so many fun activities. If you're a gamer, you want to be there. Let's leave it at that, man. If you appreciate the gaming culture at all, this is the conference to go to.
That's right. We're not sponsored by Nintendo or Xbox. We're sponsored by ReachConf.org. Buy a ticket, get in the game. All
You
right.
should. You
All
should.
right. So yeah, man, and that $10 difference between digital and physical, I love physical games. There's something
Mm-hmm.
for me. I love owning what I buy. I think your whole user license agreement, like I get it. If there's enough lawyers, I get it. But Monopoly isn't going to take the board game from my house if I use my own custom toy token. And I think the instructions even encourage you can use your own token if you don't want to use the thimble of the race car. Use whatever toy you want to go around the board. Good old,
Yeah.
good old Nintendo. There's the right way, there's the wrong way, and then there's the Japanese way. And maybe at the end of the day, everyone who's listening to this needs to take a lesson from the guy at Borderlands, where if you're a real fan, you'll buy what we tell you to pay. So, so if you're a real fan of Nintendo, stop crying and just cough up your wallet. Pay $80 digital physical for every game that they release. Don't even check it. Just if you're a real fan, do it. And the same thing goes if you like Borderlands. Yeah, that didn't work out too well for him. He got absolutely destroyed. He had to release an
Yeah.
apology.
I remember that. I legitimately could not believe he actually said that out loud.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you new broke boys are out there, you can't afford my stuff, you're terrible. But yeah, for the rest of us human beings out there with a conscience, yeah, if values in the eye of the beholder, if the game is great, there's more than one way to support a great game. But definitely buy the
Mm.
game. But there's just so many great ways, right? Telling others, sharing it on social media, becoming a fan, maybe cosplay of a character. Like, there's just so many ways to really show your love for those who in the creative process. And I've been meeting more and more folks in the storytelling game, in the video game space, indie game developers. The time and the amount of people who love this space is so rich, ironically. I think what's happening is the lawyers and accountants out there have figured out that they can make tons and tons of money off of the rich love we have for this industry. And I would just say, vote wisely with your dollars. Some games are worth it, but I have a feeling many aren't. And I hope you don't just do it because they told you to do it.
Yeah.
And I'll
Yeah.
get a Switch 2 when my 8-year-old Switch 1 breaks.
It sounds like a plan. Yeah, it's what's what we were talking about budgeting. You gotta prioritize what's important to you, and for a lot of people, the Switch 2, as of right now, there's not enough games or reasons to really support it, and I don't think there's necessarily enough innovation to demand it being purchased. We'll see what comes, but it's a cool console, but it's not a necessity.
Nice. All right, cool. That was a fun little episode. Where can we find you, Scruffy, out there in the wilderness? Where can we find you? What lobbies so we can destroy you? Mario Kart World, and where else are you
Mario
these
Kart
days?
World and Marvel Rivals. I'll be there. Be there. I'll also be in the Reach Discord hanging out. If you guys have any questions that you wanted to be either answered on the show or want to just ask me, feel free to hop in the Discord, send me a DM. The link to that will be in the show notes. So yeah, that's where I'll be. What about you, Romans? Where
Uh,
can people find you?
yeah, by intentional, you'll only find me in the Reach Discord as well. Unless you go to any type of Christian conferences out there in the wild, I fly and travel a lot. Sometimes I speak at some, sometimes I just attend them. And so you'll probably see me there. But mostly, if you want to connect, just connect in the Discord. It's where we do life together as a Reach community. Iron sharpening iron, content creators asking real questions to each other so we can
Mhm.
scale and grow. You could do it alone. You could do a lot of things alone, but it's a lot better to do with others that are like minded. So come find us. We're waiting to chat and help you, and you can help us too.
All right. Well, this has been DLC, a finance podcast for gamers. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Peace.